All praise to the Most High, Ahaya, and to his son, Yahayasha, Mashiach, Yadahaya. This is Brother Holly here with the second Spirit of Truth broadcast here on the AHAYAH'S channel, as well as the House of Ahaya channel, on this set-apart Sabbath day. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to the great I am, he who is, was, and is to come, the Almighty One, Yadahaya, and to his son, Yahayasha Messiah, who gave himself for us that we might have life, and that life is in him, Yadahaya. Now, in the second broadcast, we are going to examine a doctrine or a teaching of the New Testament that we are very familiar with. But I would like to say what we're the most familiar with is the extravagant misapplication of this biblical principle and teaching. What we're going to talk about in the second broadcast is faith, and more explicitly, the spirit of faith as described in the epistles of Saul, the apostle whom the world ignorantly calls Paul. And we're going to read the precepts from the book of Psalms, and we're going to get a living, breathing example of how the spirit of faith is played out in the life of the Messiah himself, Yahayasha. And I hope that we will gain a greater understanding. Like I said a few moments ago, this is one of the most abused bit of scripture ever. And Brother Holly is not a blab it and grab it, claim it, and name it and claim it kind of believer. But there's a biblical principle at work, and we need to familiarize ourselves with it so that when we act in faith, we will be more, we will temper our expectation, and we will know what is and is not confession of faith. So this will be relatively short and hopefully enlightening. We'll be reading from the Learned Paleo Hebrew Torah, Lashawan Kordasha, Holy Tongue, Yasha, Ahai Bible Scriptures. And turn me to 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And as I said in the first broadcast, I'm still dealing with some congestion and postnasal drip and lung congestion. So if you hear me coughing or my voice gets raspy, please forgive me and continue to pray for me. And prayer and faith, we're going to talk about that, how the prayer of faith will save the sick. And I thank you for your prayers. I covet and thank you for your prayers. 2 Corinthians, let's start reading at 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5. For we preach not ourselves, but Messiah, Yahayasha, the master, and ourselves your servant for Yahayasha's sake. For Ahaya, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of Ahaya in the face of Yahayasha, Messiah will Yahai. Verse 7, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. But we have this treasure. The treasure he's speaking of is the indwelling presence of Ahaya. This glory, the glory of Ahaya. We have this treasure in earthen vessels, verse 7, that the excellency of the power may be of Ahaya and not of us. So when you see a believer in Yahayasha, Messiah, and his father, Ahaya, when you see them moving in glory, when you see them walking in power, then understand, it is not us. We don't preach ourselves. We preach Yahayasha, Messiah. We don't teach ourselves. We teach the ways of his Father, the great I am, he who is, was, and is to come, the Almighty One. All praises unto him. We don't teach and preach ourselves. And the excellency that we operate in The power that we have in the gospel, we don't have this power of ourselves. It is an indwelling presence of the very Spirit of Allah. I'll read it again. Excuse me. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Ahayah and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. What you highlight? Children, just because you have persecution and affliction in the world, don't get all wound up about it. What did AHAYAH'S say in the questionable gospel of John? In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. All praises. We are troubled on every side, verse 8, and yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. He has not left us. He will never leave us nor forsake us, even to the end of the earth. All praises. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Master AHAYAH'S, that the life also of AHAYAH'S might be manifest in our bodies. All praises. We live a crucified life, that the resurrection power of AHAYAH'S might be manifest in us. You have to crucify your flesh, that the Spirit, the same Spirit that rose AHAYAH'S from the dead, may dwell in you. All praises. Then your mortal body will be quickened. Your mortal body will be made alive. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 10, always bearing about in the body the dying of the Master AHAYAH'S, that the life also of AHAYAH'S might be manifest in our body. For we which live are always delivered unto death for AHAYAH'S sake, that the life also of AHAYAH'S might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. That's what we want. We're delivered unto the death, even the death of the stake. We live a crucified life. We live dead indeed into sin, so we might be alive unto Ahayah through AHAYAH'S, our Master. We bear in our body the marks of living a crucified life. All praises. Verse 12, 2 Corinthians 4:12. So then death worketh in us, but life in you. See, the more I crucify myself and crucify my flesh, the more of the Spirit and the power and the presence of AHAYAH'S will show forth to me. All praises. And in you. Verse 13, we have in the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed and therefore I have spoken. Now, here is the quintessential biblical definition of the spirit of faith. I have believed, therefore I have spoken. We also believe and therefore speak. You will always walk in faith. Anytime you're speaking what you believe. Speak what you believe. Confess with your mouth, AHAYAH'S. Believe in your heart that he's been raised from the dead, and Ahayah will save you. With the heart you believe unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. What you say is what you believe, and what you believe is what you say. This has always been the case, good, bad, or indifferent. And we're going to get into that when we look at the case study on using the spirit of faith found in the Gospel of Mark. But just to give you a little bit of a head start here, you have had everything that you've been saying in abundance. What you say in abundance is what you got right now. However your life is, good, bad, or indifferent, it is because of what you've said in abundance. Because that's what's in your heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What you speak, you believe. And what you believe, you speak. Good, bad, or indifferent. Now, we're encouraged to speak the word. We're encouraged to speak that which contains the faith of AHAYAH. We're encouraged to believe the word. To put the word in our heart. Let the word of AHAYAH replace your word that's in your heart. Say what he says about you. One thing I have been saying probably all my conscious life, ever since I was conscious of who I am and where I am. I was about 10 years, 12 years old. I have been saying for almost 50 years now, I will succeed where others have failed. And you know what I've experienced, children, in my life? Success where other people have failed. I've succeeded in more endeavors than I can shake a stick at. I very rarely fail. It's not that I don't do things or I don't try things. I just succeed where other people have failed. Why? I've been saying that for, like I said, for decades, nearly 50 years I've been saying that about myself. And I'm not, and I don't want you to think that just saying it is going to make it happen. No, you got to believe it. You have to believe it. You have to actually factually believe it. That has to actually factually be what is in the abundance of your heart. Success where other people have failed, in my case. So I'm not afraid to take on something just because other people failed at it. I'm not afraid to do something just because it's hard. Or maybe hard to others. Because I got on good report that whatever I put my hand to will prosper. See, I believe that over what other people say about something. I believe that whatsoever I put my hand to, I'll prosper. That's what I believe. That's what I say about these things. Let me put my hand on it. So whatever I put my hand on is going to prosper. And sometimes I don't even touch it. I just wave my hand at it and it works. Why does it work so well? Because I believe the word. I believe the word above everything else. All evidence to the contrary, I'll believe the word. I will believe the word. Contrary to what other people might think, or what other people might say, I will believe the word. And the word is said that whatsoever I put my hand to shall prosper. Just touch it and it'll work. Oh, praises. And I say that about myself. I'll read it again. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 13. We having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believe, therefore I have spoken. We also believe, and therefore speak. You got to believe something that is unchangeable, that has the power to bring something to pass. You just can't believe something someone told you. A man's word ain't got no power at all. Only time a man's word got any power when he's speaking AHAYAH'S word. Or AHAYAH'S word. Oh, praises. So let's, excuse me, let's get the precept, because it says it as it is written. Let's see it. Let's see the precept for this spirit of faith. Let's go over to Psalms 116. You don't have to hold your place in 2 Corinthians. We ain't going back. Psalms 116, let's start reading at verse 1. Now, if this doesn't awaken the spirit of faith in you, it's dead. Allow the word of AHAYAH to awaken the spirit of faith in you. Let's go. Psalms 116, verse 1. I love AHAYAH because he have heard my voice and my supplications will you highlight. I love AHAYAH because when I pray, he hears me. I know he don't hear sinners. But when I pray, he hear me. Why? Because I keep his laws, statutes, commandments, judgments, orders, precepts. I walk in his way, word, and will, and I obey his voice. That's why I know when I pray, he hear me. Psalms 116, verse 1 again. I love Ahai because he hath heard my voice and my supplications, because he has inclined his ear unto me. Therefore I will call upon him as long as I live, will you highlight. Because I know Ahai is listening to me. I know whatsoever I pray in AHAYAH'S name, he will give me. Since I know that, I don't guess that, I know that. Because it's through faith and patience you inherit the promise. We saw earlier you're going to be tested. Because some of you had a thought, well, if that's so, if you prayed about your cough, why your cough ain't gone away yet? It's through faith and patience you inherit the promise. After you endured, you inherit. We read in the first broadcast why it takes time. Because I want to make sure you're going to do the right thing. If you're going to obey him or not. He'll let you be tried. He'll let you be tested. Later is not no. If you say later, it ain't. That's not a no. And his word's on the line. So I know I'm gonna get well. Yahya got stripes on his back right now for my healing. You see how faith works? I know I'm gonna get well. Why? Because Yahya got stripes on his back right now at the right hand of the Father. For my healing. And for your healing. It's a guarantee you're gonna get well. It's a guarantee. It ain't even a question. It's a guarantee. Preach. Psalms 116, verse 2. Because he have inclined his ear unto me, therefore I will call upon him as long as I live. The sorrows of death compassed me. The pains of hell got hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow. Then called I upon the name of Ahayah. O Ahayah, I beseech thee, deliver my soul. Gracious is Ahayah, and righteous, yea, our Ahayah is merciful. Will you highlight? Ahayah preserveth the simple. He has brought low. He has helped me, and he will help me. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for Ahayah hath dealt bountifully with me. Chill out, my soul. Ahayah has dealt bountifully with me. I got him with where he healeth all my diseases. I'm not to forget his benefits. He forgive all my sins and heals all my diseases. I'm not going to forget his benefits. I'm going to climb my ear into his benefits. I'm going to rest my soul in the benefit program and benefit package that Ahayah has offered me. Through the covenant, through his son, and by his spirit. All praises. This same thing is yours, child. Psalms 116, verse 8. For thou hast delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, my feet from falling. Will you highlight? You've been delivered from death. You've been delivered from sorrow. You've been delivered from falling. You ain't got to fall. You ain't got to fail. You ain't got to stumble. Did not Yahya tell Martha, he that lives and believes in me shall never die? Believeth thou this? Wow. I'll read verse 8 again, because some of you ain't got it yet. For thou hast delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. I will walk before Ahayah in the land of the living. Where you highlight. I ain't going nowhere. I got a word right here. I ain't going nowhere. Preach. I believe, therefore I have spoken. I was greatly afflicted. I said in my haste, all men alive. I was hasty when I said that. Everybody lies. What shall I render unto Ahai for all his benefits toward me? That's a great question. What shall I render unto Ahai for all his benefits toward me? We were told in the psalm not to forget the benefit package. For he forgive all our transgressions and heal all our diseases, to include coughs and sinus infections. All that's a stripe on. It's a stripe on AHAYAH'S back for sinus infection, for bronchitis, for postnasal drip. All of it. All praises. Thank you. I receive it. I receive it now. I receive it. All praises. Psalms 116 verse 13. I will take the cup of salvation. Take the cup. It's being offered to you. This is the fact. This is our faith. I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of Ahayah. Isn't that what Yahya told his disciples on that Passover night when he instituted the new covenant? When he announced that his blood was the blood of the new covenant? For all those Hebrews out there who don't believe we're in the new covenant, I got to ask you one question. Did he not shed his blood and say that his blood was the blood of the new covenant? I know you say, well, if we're on a new covenant, no one will have to teach anybody anything. I will lead you, lead you, let the Spirit lead you to 1 John chapter 2. And you'll read there that you have no need of any man to teach you, for the same Spirit will teach you all things and is truth. Did not Yahya say in John's Gospel that when the Spirit of truth is come, he will lead and guide you in all truth? He'll lead you and guide you in the truth. You don't need me to tell you. You have an unction from the Holy One and you know all things. That's what the scriptures say. Let that replace that ill-conceived theology you grasp, that we're not under the new covenant because we still need people to teach us. The great teacher of the people of Ahayah has come. That's the Spirit of grace. All praises. Psalms 116:13. I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of Ahayah. I will pay my vows unto Ahayah now in the presence of all his people. Whatever you've promised Ahayah you're going to do it. It's in Torah. If don't let it come out your mouth, you ain't going to do it. I believe it's in Numbers somewhere, chapter 30 something. Don't let it come out your mouth. Don't you do it and not do it. Whatever come out your mouth, you do. Wow. What's come out of your mouth, Ahayah is going to hold you to it. So whatever you promised, do it. Do it quickly. What thou do it quickly. Be in a place where faith will work for you. Be in a place where you can call on him and he'll answer you. Be in a place where you've been walking in obedience and you've been operating in the spirit of faith. You have spoken, therefore you believe, therefore you've spoken. We also believe and therefore speak. Be in that place that you're speaking what you believe and you're believing what you're saying. Quit lying to yourself so much. Say what you want instead of what you got. And let what you want be in line with what the scripture says is yours already. Wow. Just say what the scripture say about it. He's not going to let any of these words fall. Now let's see how Yahya, the Messiah, used the spirit of faith. Let's see him use it. Let's see what he said about it. Turn to Mark's gospel. Thank you for your patience. Mark's Gospel, chapter 11. Let's start reading verse 12. Mark 11:12. And on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry, speaking of AHAYAH'S. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if happily he might find anything thereupon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet, where you highlight. And when you underline the time of figs was not yet, and you'll see why in a moment. Mark 11:14, and AHAYAH'S answered and said unto it, the fig tree, said unto it, no man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. Now he came to a fig tree, just had leaves on it, no fruit. The time for the fruit to be on the tree wasn't yet. The tree was not at fault in this example. But did that stop AHAYAH'S from proclaiming something to the tree? Mm-mm. He said, let no man eat of you ever again. Ever again. And his disciples heard it. Now skip down to verse 19. Mark 11:19. And when even was come, he went out of the city. And in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter, called to remembrance, said unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursest is withered away. Good old Kepha said to AHAYAH'S, hey, that fig tree you cursed is just dried up. What did AHAYAH'S say? Verse 22, Mark 11:22. And AHAYAH'S answered and said unto him, have faith in AHAYAH. Will you highlight that? Underline that. Have faith in AHAYAH. AHAYAH'S had so much faith in his father that whatever he said, whatever AHAYAH'S said, he knew it was going to come to pass. Let's read that. The principle is have faith in the Father. The principle is this is how the spirit of faith operates. We're going to read how the spirit of faith operates. Mark 11:22 again, and AHAYAH'S answered, said unto him, have faith in AHAYAH. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. Wow. He gave you a broad stroke, didn't he? Whatsoever you desire when you pray. Believe you receive it, you'll have it. But there's a catch. Just believing you receive it is not enough. Why do you say that, Brother Holly? I thought all you had to do is believe and speak. That's the spirit of faith. You read that twice. I know. And we see right here that he was talking about having faith in AHAYAH, right? Mark 11:22. But if we keep reading just a few more verses, we'll find out a clause to have all this work. There's something you got to do for faith to work. Let's read it. We'll read verse 24 again, Mark 11:24. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. And when, excuse me, and when you stand praying, forgive, if you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. It's the same thought, because the word and, the conjunction and, was used. And When you stand praying, forgive. When you pray, believe you receive and you shall have. And when you stand praying, forgive if you have aught against it. How many of you are believing for something in prayer? You know you're standing on the word and you're not getting anywhere. That unforgiveness might be what's stopping you. You need to search your heart. You need to turn that light of introspection on in your own heart and find that person, find that situation that you still harboring a grudge. Grudge not. That's what the scripture says. Grudge not one another, seeing that you've put off the old man with his deeds. Holding grudges is part of the old man. I told you earlier about crucifying your flesh. I'll read it again. Mark 11:25. And when you stand praying, forgive if you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven might forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive you your trespasses. If you want to hold a grudge, you're going to hold one. You ain't perfect enough, me either, to not need forgiveness. So you need to extend that forgiveness. You need to have the same spirit of faith. Believe what you speak and speak what you believe. Base what you say on what the scriptures have declared concerning you and your situation. If you sick, by his stripes you'll heal. If you broke, we talked about it earlier. He's giving you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. But you got to be obedient for that to work for you. You have gold and silver in abundance. Goodly house to dwell in. Everything you have will multiply if you just be obedient. If you be willing and obedient, we quoted it earlier. If you be willing and obedient, you should eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you should be cut off by the sword. That's what's going to happen. Stir up the spirit of faith within you. Read Psalms 116 to yourself. Read it to yourself about yourself. Build up your confidence in AHAYAH. Build up your confidence in what his son, AHAYAH'S, has done for you. And you too will walk by faith and not by sight. All praise to the Most High, AHAYAH, and to his son, AHAYAH'S, Mashiach, Yada Hayah.